You ever have that feeling? That feeling when you walk into a room and the air just feels different? You can't quite put your finger on it, but something isn't right. Well, that's how I felt the night I went back to that place. A place I had promised myself I'd never return to. The name's Jack, and I've got a story for you. A story that'll make you rethink stepping foot into any old abandoned place. This wasn't just a haunted house. No, this was something else, and I was about to uncover it. It was a cold fall night, the air thick with fog, and I was driving down that road, the one I told myself I'd never take again. It had been over 20 years since I'd last seen those gates, rusted and barely standing. Just as I remembered them. The gates of Whitmore Manor. My friends and we used to dare each other to spend the night there. To see who could last the longest in that godforsaken place. But what we didn't know then was that something else was watching. Something waiting for the night to swallow us whole. As I stepped out of the car and walked up to those iron gates again, I felt it, the feeling. That gnawing sense that something wasn't right. Something had changed, and I was about to find out just what it was. So, I went in. I wish I hadn't, but I did. And the moment I crossed that threshold, everything changed. I never expected to see her again. But she was waiting for me. Her cold, hollow eyes locked on mine, and the whispers began. Stay with me, because what happens next? It's a story that I can't explain, but one I have to tell. I wish I could tell you it was just my imagination, some old ghost stories playing tricks on me. But that night, as the door slammed behind me and I heard the soft echo of footsteps following me through the manor, I knew something was horribly, terribly wrong. Whitmore Manor had always been a place of rumors. They said the place was cursed, that no one who stepped inside had ever come out the same. But none of us believed it, not back then. We were kids. Dumb, fearless kids looking for thrills. But now, years later, I'm not so sure anymore. I walked deeper into the manor, my every step making the floorboards groan under my feet. The walls, lined with peeling wallpaper and covered in dust, felt like they were closing in on me. But it wasn't the decay of the house that terrified me, it was the whispers. They started faint, barely audible, as if someone was speaking from another room. At first, I told myself it was the wind, but as I moved deeper into the shadows, the whispers, they called my name. It was her voice, the one I'd hoped I'd never hear again, the one that haunted me in my dreams. And I knew, deep down, that I was in too deep. Who, or what, was waiting for me in the dark corners of Whitmore Manor? What had happened to the friends who came here before me? Whatever it was, I was about to find out. But trust me when I say, there's no going back from this. And when you step into Whitmore Manor, the past has a way of finding you. So, sit tight, and don't close your eyes. What I'm about to tell you will make you wish you had never heard the name Whitmore Manor. It's a story that's been waiting to be told, and now I have no choice but to share it. I felt a chill run down my spine as the whispers grew louder. They weren't just words anymore, they were commands, urging me forward, deeper into the heart of Whitmore Manor. The walls seemed to pulse with every step I took, as if the house itself were alive, breathing with me. I reached the grand staircase, the once gilded banister now tarnished with age, coated in layers of dust. My footsteps echoed like a drumbeat in the silence. But there was something more, something watching. I could feel it, The air grew thick, as if the very atmosphere was pushing against me, urging me to turn back. But I couldn't. Something was pulling me forward. Something I couldn't explain. I reached the second floor. The hallway bathed in the ghostly glow of moonlight filtering through broken windows. The rooms were eerily quiet. The kind of silence that presses in on you. Suffocating. But there, in the distance, I could hear it, a faint scratching sound. Like nails dragging across wood. My heart raced. I couldn't see it, but I knew something, or someone, was just out of sight. I moved toward the source of the noise, my pulse pounding in my ears. And then I saw it. The door at the end of the hall. It was slightly ajar, and the smell of mildew and rot seeped out from the cracks. I don't know why I went toward it. Maybe it was the same part of me that had always been drawn to the forbidden. To the things we're told to stay away from. Maybe it was curiosity. Or maybe it was something worse. Maybe it was fate. I reached for the handle, my hand trembling. As soon as I touched it, the door creaked open, revealing the dark room beyond. It was the master bedroom, a place that once had been grand. But now, it was a shell of its former self, dust-covered furniture. Torn curtains hanging limply from the window. But it was the shape in the corner of the room that froze me in place. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light, a shadow from the moonlit window. But then it moved. The figure in the corner was human. But not quite. It was thin, emaciated, as if it had been starved of both food and light for decades. And its eyes, they glowed. Faintly, like embers in the dark. They locked onto mine, and I felt my entire body stiffen. As if my very soul had been ensnared by its gaze. My mouth went dry as I tried to speak. But no words came out. The whispers, they were louder now. Louder than ever before. Swirling around me like a swarm of insects. Urging me to get closer. And I, like a fool, took a step forward. That's when it happened. The figure in the corner straightened up. And a low, guttural laugh echoed through the room. It wasn't human, it couldn't have been. It was a laugh that came from a place of pure malice. A sound that made the hair on the back of my neck stand on end. And then, as if to confirm my worst fear, it spoke, its voice raspy, strained, like the wind howling through the trees on a stormy night. You should have never come back, Jack. The words sent a jolt of terror through me. A shockwave that left me frozen to the spot. How did it know my name? How could it know me? Before I could react, the door slammed shut behind me with a deafening bang, trapping me inside the room. My heart thudded painfully in my chest as I turned to face the figure again. But it was no longer standing still. No, it was moving toward me, its movements jerky and unnatural, as though it was being dragged by invisible strings. I backed up, but the room seemed to stretch. The walls closing in, the ceiling growing lower, suffocating me. My breaths came in sharp gasps as the figure drew nearer, its eyes never leaving mine. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move, as if the very air was holding me in place, paralyzing me with fear. And then, just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, I felt it, cold, icy fingers wrapping around my wrist, pulling me toward the figure. I couldn't scream, I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything except feel the coldness seep into my skin. Into my soul. It wasn't a dream. This was real. The whispers, they were everywhere now. Inside my head, in my ears, louder than ever before, chanting my name, pulling me closer to the darkness. And as I was dragged toward the thing in the corner, I realized the truth. Whitmore Manor wasn't haunted by ghosts. It was haunted by something far worse. And that's where my story ends. I never made it out. No one ever does. Whitmore Manor claims its own. And the thing I saw, it's still here, waiting for the next foolish soul to wander in. And you, my friend, well, you're already too late. I wish I could tell you that Whitmore Manor was just another haunted house story. That it was a figment of my imagination. A nightmare that would fade when the sun rose. But that's not the truth. The truth is much darker. It's a reminder of the things we can't control. The secrets buried deep in our past. And the places that we dare not revisit. Whitmore Manor, and the thing inside it, are still there, waiting, just like it waited for me, and for those before me. But you see, there's something that I've learned through all of this, something that I hope you'll take with you. The past has a way of finding us. No matter how much we run, no matter how much time passes, the things we've left behind always have a way of coming back. And it's those things, our regrets, our fears, our unfinished business, that haunt us the most. Maybe the house wasn't the real danger. Maybe the real danger lies in the parts of ourselves we refuse to face. As for Whitmore Manor, it's still waiting. It will always be waiting. And if you ever find yourself passing by, just remember, some places, they never let go. They hold on to you, even when you think you've escaped. And that's where my story ends. But yours? Yours is just beginning. Be careful where you tread. The darkness has a way of following you, just like it followed me. If you're curious about what happened next, if you want to know the secrets of Whitmore Manor, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. You never know. Maybe the whispers will find you too. Comment below and share your thoughts. Or if you've experienced something strange, I'd love to hear it. But whatever you do, stay away from places like Whitmore Manor. Because, trust me, not every story is worth uncovering. Until next time, stay in the light. And never stop questioning what's real. Key messages. Facing the past. The story is a reminder that the past, our fears, regrets, and unaddressed issues, can have a long-lasting effect. Running from them may give temporary relief, but they always find a way back. The danger of curiosity. Sometimes, seeking out the unknown or forbidden can lead to more harm than we ever anticipated. Some things are better left untouched. The persistence of the unresolved, whether it's a haunted house or personal demons. Unresolved issues continue to haunt us until we confront them. Ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. This story encourages viewers to reflect on their own lives and the hauntings they may be avoiding. It highlights the importance of confronting one's past, understanding personal fears, and recognizing the power of the unresolved. It's a story of self-awareness and the consequences of ignorance.